Welcome back to Twisted Tales, the channel where we explore the darkest corners of history, where terrifying truths lurk in the shadows. You may think serial killers are a modern phenomenon, but some of the most horrifying murderers lived centuries, even millennia ago. Today we're uncovering 10 of history's most chilling serial killers, villains whose names time may have forgotten, but whose gruesome acts are impossible to ignore. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to never miss a twisted tale from history. Number 10. Liu Pengli. Imagine living in China during the 1st century BC. While Emperor Jing's rule is widely celebrated, his nephew, Liu Pengli, casts a dark shadow. Liu, the Prince of Jidong, didn't crave power or wealth. He craved death. He led a band of slaves on nighttime raids, terrorizing the countryside. Homes would be broken into. Civilians were brutally attacked, beaten, and murdered. Over the course of several years, he claimed more than 100 lives, all for the thrill of watching people suffer. Eventually, even Liu's royal blood couldn't save him. Though many wanted him executed, Emperor Jing spared his nephew, exiling him instead. The fate of Liu Pengli remains a mystery. Number 9. Locusta of Gaul. In ancient Rome, shortly after the time of Christ, lived a woman named Locusta of Gaul. She wasn't born into power, but she found her way to it in a deadly way. Locusta was an expert poisoner, and her knowledge made her the go-to assassin for the infamous Emperor Nero. She killed with precision, using her deadly potions on children, political figures, and even the Emperor Claudius himself. For years she lived in the shadows of Roman power, but after Nero's death her luck ran out. His successor, Emperor Galba, had her executed. Locusta's legacy as one of history's first known serial killers still lingers, a poisoner whose reach extended to the highest levels of Roman power. Number 8. Alice Keitler. In medieval Ireland, Alice Keitler was a wealthy woman with a deadly secret. She married 4 times, and each husband mysteriously died soon after the wedding. The wealth she inherited raised suspicion, especially when her 4th husband fell ill and accused her of poisoning him. But when the local authorities began to investigate, it wasn't poisoning that landed Alice in trouble. It was witchcraft. She fled before she could be executed, disappearing into the night, never to be seen again. But her legacy lived on, with her servant burned at the stake in her place. Some say Alice used more than poison to dispatch her husbands. She may have used dark magic itself. Number 7. Gilles de Rais. Gilles de Rais was a celebrated French knight, a war hero who fought alongside Joan of Arc. But behind his valor and bravery lay something far more sinister. By the late 1430s, de Rais had retired from battle and descended into unspeakable depravity. He is believed to have kidnapped, tortured, and murdered as many as 140 children. A once revered figure, de Rais's crimes shocked France. He was arrested, tried, and hanged for his brutal acts. A knight who fell from grace, his story serves as a reminder that evil can hide behind even the noblest facade. Number 6. Peter Stump. Peter Stump, also known as the Werewolf of Bedburg, was a German farmer who terrorized his village in the late 1500s. According to legend, Stump made a pact with the devil, gaining the ability to transform into a wolf. With this newfound power, he went on a spree of murder and cannibalism, claiming the lives of women, children, and even his own son. Stump admitted to killing at least 14 people and practicing black magic. His execution was one of the most brutal in history. He was tortured, broken on the wheel, and finally beheaded. The legend of the werewolf may be fiction, but the fear Stump inspired was all too real. Number 5. Gilles Garnier. Gilles Garnier, a reclusive hermit in 16th century France, was accused of killing and eating children. Locals believed Garnier had struck a deal with a spirit in the forest, allowing him to transform into a wolf to hunt more effectively. Whether he was truly a werewolf or just a desperate man, Garnier confessed to stalking, murdering, and consuming the flesh of at least 4 children. He was burned at the stake in 1573 for crimes of lycanthropy and witchcraft. In an era of superstition, Garnier's grisly acts blurred the line between man and monster. Number 4. Bjørn Petersen. Known as Axlar Bjørn, this Icelandic farmer led a seemingly normal life on the Snæfellsnes Peninsula in the late 1500s. But beneath that calm facade lay a cold-blooded killer. Bjørn murdered travelers and potential farmhands, hacking them up with an axe and stealing their possessions. His brutal killings earned him a reputation, but his powerful connections kept him safe for years. In 1596, authorities finally caught up with him. Björn confessed to killing 9 people, though far more bodies were found on his land. He was executed for his crimes, and his wife, pregnant at the time, was forced to witness his death. Number 3. Louis Hutchinson. In 18th century Jamaica, Louis Hutchinson, a Scottish immigrant, became the island's first serial killer. From his estate, Edinburgh Castle, Hutchinson would shoot passing travelers for sport. Some accounts even claim he drank their blood. His reign of terror ended after he shot and killed an English soldier, leading to his capture by the British Royal Navy. When his estate was searched, authorities discovered 43 watches and countless items of clothing from his victims. Hutchinson was executed in 1773, but the legend of the Mad Doctor and his gruesome crimes still haunts Jamaica to this day. Number 2. Juan Severino Mallari. In early 19th century Philippines, Juan Severino Mallari, a Catholic priest, believed his mother was cursed. To break the curse, Mallari began murdering people, 57 in fact. Over the course of 8 years, his killing spree went unnoticed, with people blaming domestic disputes and robberies for the deaths. But when an attending priest discovered blood-stained clothing at Mallari's home, the truth came to light. Mallari was arrested in 1826 and hanged for his crimes. He remains one of the most infamous killers in Filipino history, a priest who betrayed both his flock and his faith. Number 1. John Lynch. John Lynch, an Irish convict transported to Australia in the early 1800s, would become one of Australia's deadliest serial killers. After murdering a fellow convict, Lynch fled and began a spree of killings across the Berrima district. He murdered entire families, taking their farms and possessions for himself. Lynch was finally caught after murdering a man named Kearns Landrigan in late 1841. He was hanged in 1842, with at least 10 murders linked to his name. In just 6 years, Lynch's violent outbursts earned him the title of Australia's most prolific serial killer. And that concludes our chilling journey into the past, where history's most dangerous killers lurked long before the modern world knew the term serial killer. If these twisted tales left you shocked, be sure to hit the like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Twisted Tales for more dark stories from history. Who knows what terrifying secrets are yet to be uncovered? Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and remember, the past is never truly dead.